Stand Easy is a charitable organisation that uses theatre and theatre skills as a means of assisting the process of recovery for wounded, injured and sick military personnel, both serving and veteran. This performance by the first Stand Easy company is the culmination of a 2-week project at Mingus Hill Community Centre in Dundee.
Yeah, my wife's going to kill me, so's my kids. I've went and signed up again. Last time I did that was the Boer War.
Britons want you.
Britons wants me. We'll go to war. Follow Dad's footsteps.
Did you watch my paper?
It's a war in France. I'm going to go to that.
Yeah?
I've got a map in my room. I'm going to have a look.
All right, that's good.
Big man.
The veterans are from the Army and Navy, and all have seen active service in areas of conflict across the world. The other members of the company include 4 young actors from Dundee and Angus College, theatre producer Alan Cameron, filmmaker Sandy Jameson, and Kirsty Duncan, a member of the Mingus Hill Community Centre Management Group.
Yes, sir! No, sir! 3 bags, no, sir!
Now, when I say go, I want you to launch yourself into the situation that I give you. So start.
The company came together in May 2016. The aim of the first week was to build relationships within the group and to develop ability and confidence in theatre skills. Games and exercises helped everyone to get to know one another and to ease the veterans into the new environment and challenges of performance.
What am I going to do? I can't watch Celtic every weekend.
Well, we've been at Stand Easy. We're working towards doing a play at the end of the 2 weeks. We've been doing a lot of confidence building, a lot of games, and getting to know one another and finding out what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are.
I'm John. Who's you? This morning we did role play and we had to just come up with a different scenario, practice it, and then we had to do it in front of everybody, and it felt natural and I really did enjoy it.
Well, one activity that I've particularly enjoyed was turning a small story that was imagined from an object, which in my case was a thermos flask, and turning that into a short drama.
A British soldier ran up and saw my owner dead and noticed me. He unfastened my lid and smelled the tea inside me, which was still hot. He slung me over his shoulder and ran back to his trench.
What you're trying to do is you're trying to get me off the chair to go and see the fire.
The emphasis of all the work was to have fun and to just give it a go. It was a supportive environment where it was okay to make mistakes.
There's a fire in there. There's a fire in my room and it's going to burn my toys.
All of the nonsense.
Yes.
In order to get used to performing in front of an audience, everyone was encouraged to present their stories and ideas to the whole company. However, if they chose not to do so, that was okay too. Other ways were found for their stories to be told.
I was part of a gun group within the Royal Artillery, and I was also a piper for the commanding officer. As a piper, I travelled all around the world, including Russia, Switzerland, Berlin. I've played for the Queen on a few occasions, and quite a few members of the royal family, and it was a fantastic experience. While I was across in Afghanistan, I seen a few nasty experiences. What affected us drastically That then led on to getting flown back to the United Kingdom, where I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and my life hit a brick wall. I gave up piping, and my life's never been the same since.
Whilst everyone had fun, for all the veterans this process was also challenging and emotional at times.
You're a good friend. You'll always be within me, that's for sure. Farewell, my good friend. Till we meet again.
The main challenge for me really has been remembering or being reminded of certain aspects of my military career. I think certain things that have not sat well with me until recently.
The biggest challenge is, while I've been here, of being actually getting up on the stage and performing in front of people. I lack confidence massively, but the more I do it, the more confident I feel.
Challenges is, it's more to do with if anything was said that could trigger ill feelings or bad memories. That was my biggest fear. Unfortunately, it did happen once, but the way it was handled, I was back within the group within about an hour, so it was really well done.
By week 2, 4 veterans had chosen to continue on to devise a performance for family and friends.
Now, before we start, is everyone happy with the kind of direction that we're going in? Because I know at the beginning there was some uncertainty about just the whole emotion surrounding the subject matter of World War I. But it seems to me that everyone is coping with that really well. And that's where there's been a choice. People have actually chosen to use that material. So, are we all fine with that?
The emphasis of the work changed. Building on the small scenes that were devised in the previous week, the company selected those key elements from each of them that they thought were strongest and brought them together to create their own play. Whilst the theme of the play was World War I, it was important to everyone that the stories of our own veterans would also be told.
While I was across Afghanistan, I was craving Highlander crisps. It was my favourite thing back then, because we were living off it was nothing but rations. And my mum sent us a 6-pack of Highlander crisps in the shoe boxes, and I munched every single pack of these crisps within a second. Honestly, I just opened all the bags and just went.
Where's he going to get me?
You've got mine.
Next door.
Our professional actors were essential in helping our veterans to develop their confidence and acting skills. However, this was definitely a two-way process, and the actors learned a lot from the veterans too.
It's been fabulous, and I think coming away from this project, the idea of taking risks and exploring and having respect for the people around me and the stories that those people have to tell.
For me, a barrier was the knowledge of, likes of World War I and the Navy and stuff like that. I don't actually have much knowledge about that at all, and for me that was kind of a block for trying to be creative with things. But one thing that's helped me is you guys, like everyone else with that knowledge. We're collaborating with them, so we're all teaching each other every day.
With improvising, because if you speak to anybody who knows me, that's the thing that I hate so much. I just struggle. It's a really difficult thing to do, but I think being in a group full of people who aren't actually actors, they took up improvising really well and saw it in a different light than I did, and so it's been really easy and actually really, really enjoyable. So that's been a huge improvement for me.
By the final day of the project, the company was ready, excited and nervous about their first performance. There was sadness too. This would be the end of the project, an intense 2 weeks of personal challenges and new friendships. It hadn't been an easy journey, but it was a satisfying one, and one that had changed lives.
After this project, I'm hoping to continue my piping. One of the reasons I came onto this project was to get back to my piping, which I am. And I don't know, I've never thought about actually becoming an actor, but it's becoming more appealing day by day. But I think I've got to work a lot on my medical issues first, and then you never know, I might become an actor in the future.
The show was a great success. The audience laughed and cried, as did the company when it came time to part. But they didn't part for long. They continued to meet up for meals and theatre trips, and there is ongoing support for the veterans. Hopefully some of them will come back and assist with future projects, and so we hope the Stand Easy Company will continue to grow.
I would love to be able to give back to Stand Easy project, you know. So the next one that comes on, I would love to be able to come back and help out, as instead of being one of the students, to be there as one of the professionals.